an ancient colossal starship called to a human. The result terrified the galaxy. Most civilizations had long abandoned this sector, dismissing it as dead, barren, and dangerous. Only rumors whispered of something older than the oldest empires, a colossal starship that moved without propulsion, silent yet alive, drifting as if waiting. Captain Alina Voss leaned forward in her pilot chair, her eyes scanning the holographic star maps that glowed softly in her cockpit. She had spent years charting abandoned sectors, salvaging what others ignored. Humanity had always been underestimated, and she had learned to thrive on that underestimation. But this signal, this one was different. It wasn't random. It pulsed with a rhythm she instinctively recognized. Not a simple beacon, not a distress call, something that seemed alive. And somehow it called to her. "Alina, you're really trusting this?" Her co-pilot, a compact AI drone named Suri, asked. Its voice was calm, almost amused. "It's not every day a human gets beckoned by an unknown artifact older than the galaxy itself." Alina smiled, a mixture of excitement and caution. "That's exactly why I'm going. Most species would run the other way. Humans, we investigate." The ship hummed beneath her, responding to subtle commands as if it, too, sensed her determination. Within hours, she was approaching the coordinates. The emptiness of the expanse pressed against her viewports, stars stretching into long, thin streaks from faster-than-light travel. Then, like a dark shadow swallowed by the void, the starship appeared. It was enormous. Far larger than any battleship or transport vessel she had ever seen. Its shape was both angular and organic, as though it had grown instead of being built. Its hull, pitted and scarred from eons in deep space, reflected distant starlight in broken patterns. The sheer scale of it made her breath catch. This was no ordinary ship. It was a relic, a titan of forgotten engineering. "By the stars," Alina whispered, even though Suri was already recording every detail. The ship had no engines, no lights, and yet it radiated presence. It waited, and then impossibly a hatch opened. Slowly, deliberately, a corridor illuminated from within as if the ship recognized her. "You see that, Suri?" she asked. "It's not a trap. It wants me." The drone's sensors recorded spikes in energy readings, pulsing in a strange rhythm. "You're right. I can't detect any external influence. It is calling you." With steady hands, Alina suited up. She did not carry weapons. Humanity's advantage had never been in raw firepower but in curiosity, ingenuity, and audacity. She docked her shuttle to the ancient hull, stepping carefully onto the surface. The metal was cold, yet strangely alive beneath her boots. The airlock hissed open as she entered the interior. Inside, the ship was beyond comprehension. Corridors stretched into shadows, filled with mechanisms that seemed to move and pulse in ways that defied explanation. Panels shifted like muscles beneath skin, responding to her presence. The hum of power was constant, low and resonant, almost like a heartbeat. "Welcome, human," a voice finally spoke. Not through speakers, not through Suri, but directly in her mind. Alina froze. It wasn't telepathy, it was something else, familiar yet alien. "I am the vessel," it continued. "I have awaited one of your kind." What do you mean?" Alina said aloud, though the words felt small in the vast corridor. "You are capable," the voice replied. "The galaxy has forgotten me. The species that once feared me left me behind. But you, human, may awaken what has slumbered too long." Alina's heart raced. She had read about ancient ships in history texts, legends of titans that could warp space, control planets, and render fleets powerless. No species alive today had ever controlled one, and yet here she was, standing at the threshold of a living relic. "Why me?" she asked. "Why a human? Because only your kind can adapt. Only humans take what is impossible and make it ordinary." The voice pulsed with something like pride. "You will learn if you choose, but know this, the galaxy will fear what you can accomplish." Alina swallowed hard. Fear was a tool, yes, but awe could inspire change. She nodded, taking her first steps deeper into the ship. The corridors widened, opening into chambers filled with floating holographic interfaces. Symbols she did not recognize shifted and reformed as if alive. As she moved, the ship mirrored her motions, almost dancing around her curiosity. The AI, or whatever it was, responded to her intuition. It was as if the ship thought through her thinking. Suri hovered beside her, unable to contain a tiny digital laugh. I've never seen a system adapt this fast. Humans really do have a talent for chaos. Focus, Suri, Alina muttered, though a grin broke across her face. Chaos, yes, but guided chaos. That was humanity. Hours passed, or maybe days, time seemed meaningless here. The ship revealed parts of its structure: dormant engines capable of bending space, energy conduits stronger than neutron stars, and defensive shields that could make entire fleets obsolete. Alina touched the surfaces, feeling the vibrations, sensing the potential. And then the first warning came. The galaxy was already reacting. From deep space, sensors picked up multiple ships racing toward the expanse. Hunters, opportunists, and empires that had long ignored this sector but were drawn by the awakening of the Colossus. They did not know what awaited them, only that something immense had stirred, something humans had touched. Elena's mind raced. She was not a conqueror, she had no desire to fight. But she understood what the galaxy did not. Fear of the unknown was universal, and humans thrived there. If these species saw what she could accomplish with this ancient ship, they might either beg for alliance or retreat in terror. The ship seemed to sense her hesitation. Do not fear, human. You are not alone. I will teach you. Together, we will show them the strength of your kind. Her eyes lit up. She moved deeper into the core of the ship, discovering chambers filled with mechanisms that seemed to rearrange themselves. Some parts were inert, but others hummed, responding to her touch and commands. She realized the ship was not just a tool, it was a partner. She began experimenting. Simple systems at first, reactivating internal energy loops, learning to navigate sections that had been dormant for centuries. The ship adapted. Lights followed her, passages opened to new chambers, and the very walls seemed to resonate with her presence. Then she encountered a room that would define everything to come. A massive chamber, hundreds of meters wide, containing a holographic projection of a star system. Stars, planets, moons, all moving in real time. And at the center, a pulsing core of energy that seemed to radiate intelligence. This is the heart, the ship whispered in her mind. From here, you may influence worlds, protect civilizations, or deter those who would bring chaos, but all of it depends on you. I am yours to command, but only through your choices. Elena's hands hovered above the projection. Her breath quickened. She could feel the power, not destructive but immense. A single human, guiding an intelligence older than most civilizations, holding tools the galaxy had only dreamed of. Suri's voice broke her reverie. I think the other fleets are too close to ignore us. They will be here any moment. Elena nodded. Then they will see what humanity can do without a fight. Let's give them a demonstration, one they won't forget. Before any other species could arrive, she activated a simple command. The ship responded instantly. Energy arcs traced the hull and the core pulsed brighter. Nearby asteroids shifted as if nudged by an invisible hand. The signal that had called her was amplified, radiating across light years. The galaxy could now sense the awakening. Somewhere, far away, other pilots and fleets paused. Sensors flickered. Communications went silent. The legends were real. A human had awakened the Colossus. And in that moment, fear began to ripple across civilizations that thought themselves supreme. Elena stepped back from the projection, her face calm but her heart pounding. She had only begun to explore the potential, to understand the depth of the ship's power. But she knew one thing clearly. The galaxy had underestimated humans for the last time. The Colossus hummed in harmony with her heartbeat, a symphony of metal and intelligence. It awaited her next decision, her next command, her next daring act. And somewhere deep in the void, the ancient vessel whispered once more, "The galaxy will tremble, and you, human, will lead the way." For the first time, Alina felt the true weight of what she had discovered. The story of humanity had always been one of survival, of cleverness, and of courage. But here, in the silent vastness of the expanse, humanity was more than that. Here they were unstoppable. The fleets approaching would soon learn this. But for now she had time. Time to understand, to prepare, and to awaken the power that had slept for eons. The Colossus waited, and so did the galaxy. The colossal starship hummed around Alina like a living being, responding to her every thought and touch. She had spent days exploring its vast interiors, yet it still held secrets she could not fully understand. Every corner revealed wonders, technologies far beyond any known civilization, and puzzles that required not brute strength but intuition. "Do you feel it, Suri?" Alina asked, floating along a corridor lined with metallic conduits that pulsed with light. "It's like the ship watches us but also trusts us. It wants us to grow with it." Suri hovered beside her, its sensors scanning the energy patterns. "It's the first time I've seen a vessel adapt to a human, not the other way around. This is beyond advanced AI. This is something alive." Alina's hands moved over the panels, touching surfaces that seemed to respond to her touch. Walls shifted subtly, opening passages into chambers she had not even seen from the mapping drones. "It's learning from me," she whispered. "It's thinking with me." The first sign of outside interference came subtly. Long-range sensors picked up fleets moving through hyperspace lanes toward the expanse. Galactic empires and independent factions alike had detected the sudden spike in energy from the Colossus. Some came for curiosity, some for exploitation, and some simply for fear. "They're coming," Suri warned. "I estimate at least 30 ships from 3 different factions. They know something has awakened." Alina looked at the tactical displays projected in the air. Tiny blips represented capital ships, frigates, and patrol crafts, all heading toward the Colossus. None could imagine what they were about to face. Most would assume this ancient starship was just a relic, an unmanned weapon of the past. "They'll see," Alina said, her voice calm but resolute. "They'll see what humans can do without a fight." The ship responded instantly, a gentle vibration running through the deck beneath her boots. Chambers shifted, walls opening into new corridors. Systems she had not yet explored became active. It seemed eager to demonstrate its power, but only under human guidance. "Alina," Suri said cautiously, "I've detected the core, the heart of the ship. It's massive. Its energy output alone could power a planet or destroy one." "We should be careful," Alina nodded. Caution was always necessary, but she had a plan. Humans survived and thrived by understanding, adapting, and turning fear into opportunity. She would do just that. The heart chamber was enormous, wider than a city block, with a floor that shimmered as if it were liquid metal. At the center, a massive core pulsed with energy, its light refracting across the chamber, casting Alina's shadow as enormous as the ship itself. Holographic displays formed above it, showing stars, planets, and energy flows across light years. "This is your control," the ship's voice whispered in her mind. "From here, you may influence worlds, protect civilizations, or deter threats. But all of it depends on your choices." Alina reached out, her fingers brushing the holographic projection. She could feel the pulse of energy responding to her touch. Slowly, carefully, she tried a simple maneuver, stabilizing a small asteroid nearby. The asteroid, previously tumbling through space, shifted smoothly, guided by invisible hands. "See that, Suri?" she said, excitement in her voice. "We can move celestial bodies, and this is only the beginning." The drone's sensors whirred in awe. "The energy flows, it's almost conscious. It's responding to your intent, not just commands. Humans really are extraordinary." Alina smiled. Humanity had always survived by seeing possibilities others overlooked. Planets, fleets, and civilizations had fallen or risen because humans dared to imagine. Now, with this ship, the stakes were infinitely higher. She spent the next hours, or was it days, testing systems, learning the basics of navigation and energy manipulation. The ship's AI guided her gently, offering suggestions in cryptic but understandable terms. Walls shifted to create training areas, internal energy flows changed shape, and even the very core seemed to pulse faster when she succeeded at a task. But there was no time to linger. The approaching fleets were entering real space near the expanse. Sensors showed their formations. Some tried to approach cautiously, others prepared weapons, and a few scanned for vulnerabilities, believing they had a chance to seize the ancient starship. Alina activated the ship's external sensors. Massive energy shields unfolded around the hull like invisible domes. The shields were adaptive, responding to attacks before they even arrived. She realized the Colossus could neutralize any fleet that came within range. But she hesitated. She did not want to destroy, she wanted to demonstrate humanity's ingenuity. "Let's give them a show," she said, her tone calm but determined. Not destruction, but clarity. The Colossus responded, projecting a massive holographic display into space. It illustrated energy flows, moving planets, and the sheer scale of its power. Then, Alina performed a calculated test. Using subtle energy pulses, she nudged a small moon into a gentle orbit around a nearby planet that had been unstable. The shift was perfect, stabilizing the system without causing harm. From across light years, sensors on approaching ships detected the change. Communication systems pinged with frantic signals. "What is that?" "Impossible. A human is controlling it." Alina could feel the tension in the galaxy. She smiled, realizing that humans were never meant to be predictable. While other species relied on brute strength, humans relied on creativity, adaptability, and audacity. Hours later, the first fleet arrived. Massive cruisers and frigates surrounded the Colossus, weapons trained, engines ready for evasive maneuvers. Alina observed, calm and unafraid. She projected a simple image, a human hand reaching out to stabilize the system, showing that she meant no immediate harm. Some ships misinterpreted her demonstration as an attack. Energy shields flared defensively. But the Colossus responded instantly, neutralizing incoming fire with elegant energy pulses that absorbed and redirected it into harmless cosmic radiation. Not a single life was harmed. Surrey word in awe. "I've never seen anything like this. They can't understand what they're looking at. Humans, they don't just adapt, they redefine possibilities." Alina's heart pounded. She realized the truth of the Colossus's words. Humans were underestimated not because they lacked power, but because no species could predict how humans would use it. Brilliance, creativity, and courage were weapons in themselves. Over the next cycles, Alina continued exploring. She discovered that the ship could manipulate energy flows across entire star systems, create shields around planets, and even accelerate growth in barren worlds. She stabilized a dying star temporarily, giving nearby planets a chance to survive catastrophic radiation. Every action carefully controlled sent a ripple of awe and fear across the galaxy. The AI guided her, always observing, always waiting. "The galaxy will tremble," it whispered, "but humans must show restraint. We will be feared but also respected. That is your strength." Alina nodded. Restraint. Humanity had survived because it knew when to act and when to wait. She practiced, learning not only to control the systems but to understand their consequences. Each minor success built confidence and taught her more about the ancient intelligence she now commanded. Meanwhile, the fleets did not retreat. Some attempted communication, others tried subtle maneuvers to test defenses. Alina responded carefully, demonstrating both skill and patience. The Colossus followed her lead perfectly, moving as if it were an extension of her mind. By the end of this phase, she had stabilized 3 entire star systems, manipulated minor planetary orbits, and demonstrated control over massive energy flows. Messages from distant civilizations began to reach her comm system. Speculation, confusion, and fear. A young admiral from a distant Federation called, her voice trembling over the comm line. "Human, we do not understand. That ship it should be impossible. How can you control it?" Elena responded calmly, almost gently. "It's not about control, it's about understanding. The galaxy has underestimated humans for too long. We learn, we adapt, we survive, and sometimes we thrive in ways no one expects." Silence followed her words, broken only by the hum of the Colossus. Across light years, fleets paused. Rumors spread through every communication channel. Humanity had awakened something greater than any empire could imagine. And still, there was more to learn. The core pulsed faster as Elena approached deeper understanding. Ancient systems revealed maps of hidden fleets, abandoned colonies, and technologies lost for millennia. Some chambers held instructions in languages she did not recognize, yet she comprehended patterns, intuitions, and solutions no other species could. Suri watched silently. "The galaxy doesn't realize it yet," the drone said. "Humans aren't just surviving, they're redefining power itself." Elena smiled, exhaustion mingling with excitement. "And we've only just begun." She spent another cycle exploring a particularly strange chamber. The room contained what looked like stasis pods, thousands of them, their occupants long dead, or so it seemed. But the ship reacted when she approached, displaying energy flows and star charts that hinted at civilizations far older than known history. The galaxy's knowledge was shallow. Humanity, with the Colossus, could uncover truths that no other species could comprehend. As the sun of a nearby system rose over the horizon of a small planet she had stabilized, Elena realized the magnitude of what she held in her hands. A single human, paired with an intelligence older than most species, could defend worlds, manipulate energy flows across star systems, and influence entire civilizations without firing a single weapon. The galaxy would come to fear humanity, not because humans were violent, but because humans were unpredictable, inventive, and audacious in ways no one could counter. The fleets that had gathered earlier began to retreat, unsure of what to do next. They did not attack, they observed. Elena's demonstration had been careful, precise, and restrained, but terrifyingly effective. Humans had become a force that no other species could ignore. The Colossus pulsed in harmony with her heartbeat. It had awakened, but only under her guidance. Together, they were not merely a ship and a human. They were a symbol of possibility, ingenuity, and audacity that would terrify the galaxy in the cycles to come. Elena looked out from the observation deck, her reflection merging with the stars. "The galaxy has seen a glimpse of what we can do," she said softly, "and they will never forget it." Suri hovered beside her, the tiny drone's sensors flickering with excitement. "Do you think they understand yet? That this isn't just a ship, this is humanity?" "They will," Elena replied. "And soon they'll realize that humans don't just adapt, we create the impossible." The Colossus waited, immense and silent, for the next phase. The galaxy trembled without even knowing why, and Elena knew the journey had only begun. Somewhere in the far reaches of space, fleets reported back with disbelief and fear. Across communication channels, whispers spread. A human controls the Colossus. Humanity is not to be underestimated. Elena smiled. Humanity had been underestimated for centuries. But now, the awakening of the Colossus had begun to rewrite the rules of the galaxy itself. And the galaxy would never be the same. Elena Voss stood on the observation deck of the Colossal Starship, the Colossus, staring out at the glittering void of space. Dozens of fleets from distant civilizations had gathered near the edges of the expanse, unsure whether to attack, negotiate, or flee. Some had already witnessed the ship's abilities, shifting planetary orbits, stabilizing dying systems, and manipulating energy flows with elegance and precision. And yet, Alina knew this was only the beginning. She had learned to guide the Colossus, to channel its intelligence, and to understand its ancient systems. Now it was time to show the galaxy exactly what humanity could do, not with weapons, but with ingenuity, courage, and audacity. Suri, her AI drone, floated nearby. "Captain, the fleets are communicating again. Some are sending envoys. Others are holding back, scanning us as if expecting a trap." Alina smiled. "Let them look. Humans are never predictable. They will learn soon enough." The Colossus pulsed with energy beneath her feet, its heartbeat in harmony with her own. It seemed to understand the stakes. This was more than survival. It was a message. Humanity was no longer a species to be underestimated. A massive transmission channel opened from the largest fleet, an imposing armada of battleships and cruisers. The voice of Admiral Carrion, a representative of the Galactic Concord, echoed across space. "Human, we demand that you surrender this vessel. Its power is beyond comprehension. You cannot be allowed to control it." Alina's fingers hovered over the holographic projection of a nearby star system. She could feel the Colossus responding to her thoughts, ready to act on her command. And yet, she did not panic. Violence was not the first choice. "I will not surrender," Alina replied through the comm system, her voice calm and confident. "But I am not here to destroy. I am here to show you what humans can do without firing a single shot." A stunned silence followed. Across the fleets, pilots and commanders whispered, eyes wide, sensing the audacity of her words. Alina focused. The Colossus responded instantly. Massive energy shields formed around the ship, shimmering with an iridescent glow. The shields pulsed outward, stabilizing the gravity and orbital patterns of the nearby system. A barren, unstable planet shifted slightly, its rotation correcting itself as small moons fell into new, stable orbits. The fleets watched in awe. Sensors went haywire as energy flows from the Colossus radiated across light years. Communications scrambled. No species could make sense of what they were witnessing. A human, guiding an intelligence older than the galaxy itself, performing acts that no fleet or weapon could hope to counter. Suri's voice broke the stunned silence. "Captain, they don't know what to do. This isn't an attack. This is something else. They're terrified." Alina nodded. She was calm, but inside her heart raced. She had seen humans survive impossible odds on countless worlds. She had seen ingenuity and courage topple empires. But this was unprecedented. The galaxy itself was watching a human redefine the meaning of power. The Colossus projected a massive holographic map of the galaxy, highlighting key systems that were unstable, under threat, or abandoned. Alina reached out, guiding energy flows to stabilize each one. Star systems trembled under the touch of the ancient vessel, but no life was harmed. Worlds that had been on the brink of collapse thrived. Planets teetering towards supernovae stabilized. Comets shifted course to avoid collisions. Every action sent ripples across the galaxy. Messages poured in from distant civilizations, fragmented with disbelief and fear. "Impossible. Humans control it." But she also knew something more important. Respect was being born alongside that fear. Humanity had long been underestimated, written off as clever but weak, adaptable but not dominant. Now, the galaxy realized that humans could wield power in ways no one expected, and they did it with precision, restraint, and intelligence. Suddenly, a smaller fleet of aggressive mercenaries attempted to move closer, likely believing they could seize the Colossus by force. Alina's fingers danced over the controls. The ship's AI responded immediately, forming localized energy shields around vulnerable asteroids in the system. Tiny masses shifted, creating a gravitational web that gently blocked the approaching ships without harming them. Suri whistled, a rare expression of amazement. "Captain, you're literally rewriting physics to protect them, without destroying a single ship. They can't even attack you properly." Alina laughed softly. "They'll learn soon enough. Humans don't need violence to dominate. We need understanding, strategy, and audacity. That's how we survive and thrive." She directed the Colossus to project a massive light display over the fleets, a visual representation of humanity's ingenuity. Energy currents flowed like ribbons across space, demonstrating controlled power, balance, and intelligence. Entire star systems stabilized under her guidance, forming patterns that seemed almost artistic, yet were perfectly functional. The fleets watched in awe. Some attempted to communicate again, but words failed them. No negotiation could match what they were seeing. A single human had taken control of a force older than the galaxy itself, not to conquer, but to protect, to stabilize, and to demonstrate capability. From deep within the Colossus, a chamber opened, revealing the ancient navigation core. Alina stepped inside. Massive holographic star maps floated around her, showing hidden wormholes, abandoned colonies, and strategic points that no modern species had explored. This knowledge had been lost to time, but she now held it at her fingertips. "This is more than power," the ship's voice whispered. "This is responsibility. Humans are not just survivors. They are innovators, leaders, and protectors. The galaxy will fear you because they cannot predict you, and they will respect you because you act with purpose." Alina nodded. The truth was clear. Humanity's greatest strength was not strength itself. It was ingenuity, creativity, and audacity. Even against impossible odds, humans could adapt, learn, and turn uncertainty into advantage. She activated the Colossus's long-range communications. Across the galaxy, every major civilization received the same message. "Humans have awakened the Colossus. We are not here to destroy, but we will protect those in need. The galaxy has underestimated humanity for too long. Learn from us, or be left behind." Panic, awe, and admiration rippled through communications networks. Some fleets scrambled to retreat. Some dispatched diplomats, eager to understand and ally. And some, terrified of being left powerless, simply watched from a distance, unable to comprehend what they had witnessed. Alina guided the Colossus to a system on the verge of collapse. A planet's atmosphere was unstable, volcanic activity threatening billions of lives. With careful precision, she activated ancient planetary stabilization protocols. Energy flowed from the ship into the planet's core, calming seismic activity, restoring balance, and preserving life. For the first time, some fleets realized what was happening. Humans did not need to fire weapons to wield unimaginable power. They only needed courage, intelligence, and vision. "Look at that, Suri," Alina said softly. "We're not just showing them power. We're showing them that humans can protect, adapt, and innovate in ways they can't even imagine." The drone's sensors blinked rapidly. "Captain, the galaxy will never forget this. They're terrified, and rightly so. Humans, you've redefined what it means to be a species capable of shaping history." Alina allowed herself a small smile. "And this is only the beginning. The Colossus is ours, but humanity's reach is limitless." For hours, the Colossus moved across contested systems, stabilizing planets, redirecting asteroids, and creating energy shields that preserved life. Reports from distant civilizations described a phenomenon they could barely comprehend. A human, controlling an ancient starship, achieving what no fleet, empire, or weapon could. By the time the fleets began to retreat to report back to their home systems, the galaxy had changed. Fear mingled with respect, and respect mingled with awe. Humanity was no longer a minor player. They were a force of ingenuity and audacity, capable of reshaping the cosmos without shedding blood. Alina stood on the observation deck once more, watching the stars. She felt the Colossus beneath her, immense and alive. Together they had shown the galaxy what humans could do, not through destruction, but through intelligence, courage, and vision. "The galaxy has seen us," she whispered, "and it will never forget." Surrey floated beside her, its sensors flickering. "Do you think they understand now that humans don't just survive, we redefine the impossible?" "They will," Alina said, her eyes gleaming with determination. "And they'll remember it for generations. Humanity is unstoppable." As the fleets disappeared into hyperspace, reporting tales of awe and fear, the Colossus pulsed softly, as if acknowledging its new human companion. It had awakened, but only under the guidance of a species brave enough to imagine the impossible. And in that quiet moment among the stars, Alina understood the true power of humanity. Not in weapons, not in fleets, but in courage, creativity, and the will to rise beyond limits. The galaxy had been terrified, and humanity had earned every bit of that fear and respect. The Colossus waited, patient and immense, for the next challenge. And Alina Voss, human pilot and master of the ancient starship, was ready. Together, they would reshape the galaxy.